Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to our next flight in the Airbus A400M. About a year and a half ago, Germany has completed its participation in the UN mission MINUSMA in Mali and have started their withdrawal back to Germany. Now, today we are going to operate one of those flights, to be specific the first part of one of those flights, where they flew their equipment from Camp Castor in Mali over to Niamey in Niger, from where they continued on to Germany. The first sector is going to be approximately a 40-minute flight, and that is what we are going to do today in our lovely Airbus A400 by Builds in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It is really worth pointing out the wonderful scenery for Camp Castor that is available on flightsim.to and which was originally designed for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 but works really well in Flight Simulator 2022 as well. It really provides a great set for our Airbus A400 mission and provides a great location in the middle of Africa as well if you are operating your A400 in the region. Alright, so let's head over and go upstairs and into the flight deck to start to prepare for our mission, ferrying equipment and troops over to Niamey. So let's take a seat on the captain's seat of the Airbus A400 and start with our flight deck preparation. That's the engine master's off, the engine start switch in norm, the weather radar is off anyway, thrust levers should be idle as well. So the landing gear lever is down and both wiper selectors are off. With that we can go ahead and turn on our batteries and the external power, verify that our APU is safe for usage, and then we can go ahead and start the APU straight away, as it might otherwise get rather warm with the sun blazing onto our Airbus A400s. So the IRSs are going on, and then let's first of all go ahead and pressurize the blue hydraulic system so that we're actually able to open the main deck cargo door so that they can start loading equipment into our aircraft. Something I find really worth pointing out here is the excellence of the scenery with the equipment on the trucks next to your parking stand, the loaders in the back over there. Overall, really very well done scenery in my opinion. Obviously, I've never been to the real Camp Castor, but I do think this is a splendid scenery, most certainly one to enjoy when operating the A400. It's available on flightsim.to, I'll link it in the video description below. Okay, so our aircraft is slowly coming to life, the APU is starting, then let's go ahead and check that it is safe for operations. So recall is checked and nothing in there. Then let's go ahead and load our aircraft. So we'll start by importing our flight from SimBrief, and next up we are going to have a look at the operational flight plan here. Now we're flying in Africa, and that means the weather services are probably not all that good. If we look in here, we can see that our departure airport reports weather from the 28th, but it actually is the 7th already. In other words, they haven't reported any weather for at least a week and a half. The forecast, however, seems to be accurate, and we are looking at mostly easterly winds with blowing dust in the weather forecast. For our destination Niamey, those weather reports seem current. Cavalcade, again, easterly winds, 32 degrees outside. Our destination alternate is looking good as well, so we can go ahead with the minimum amount of fuel that we need. And looking into our flight plan over here, we can see that they want us to go with around about 10.1 tons of fuel. Now, I did use the Builds profile for the Airbus A400M from their forums, which is based on the Airbus A340, which is the reason why we've got such a low fuel factor over here, for example. However, I still think that the fuel figures are a little bit unreliable. So let's go ahead and play this one safe and take a little bit extra fuel. We're going to go with 13 tons of fuel today. So, fuel and payload, import from SimBrief. And we're going to load a tiny bit extra fuel up here, apply, and that's it. Wonderful. So our zero fuel weight is right at the maximum, 109.6, which is what we are going to take today. Well then, our aircraft is ready to be loaded, so the APU bleed can come on. The oxygen pressure is looking good, the hydraulic quantities are looking good, the engine oil quantities are also looking good, and that's it. Alright then, on to our cockpit preparation. Annunciator light test is looking wonderful, all the lights are working. So up here, not really a lot we need to do. Onto the main panel then, nav lights coming on, emergency exit lights armed, fasten belts coming on. So, fueling is complete, let's go ahead and turn on the fuel pumps. We can run the engine fire test. Looking good, and then finally on the right hand side over here, everything is set. Moving down to the main panel then. In the absence of any actual weather information, we can still determine the altimeter setting by looking at the field elevation. So if we just enter the airport information here, we see the elevation should be 850, so we can just adjust the QNH so that it matches the target elevation. So 1014 is going to be our QNH today. Okay, moving down here, not a lot to set, and the same applies to down here, making sure that the IFF system is off, and that's it. TCAS above can already be selected. Well then, let's go down into the FMS and perform our initialization. So mission number is going to be 2908, fitting to our call sign. The RSs are about to be finished aligning. Scratchpad messages are all checked as well. So, departure runway, it's gonna be 06 left today, 2.5 kilometers. And we may insert this, and then our arrival into Niamey. They do have a runway 09 over there, which seems plausible to me. And then it's probably gonna be runway 09 left. Let's see, approach is available, none. Let's see if that is any different on 09 right. Yes. So over here we can take the ILS approach runway 9 right and then perhaps do a visual swing over. We'll have to see about that. So for our arrival, we are approaching from Gallet, and that's the Vauxhall 1 Romeo arrival. So let's go ahead and find that one down in the list. Here we go, Vauxhall 1 Romeo. And the transition is none. Approach via, well, let's see what we have in the FMS right now. Flight plan. Vauxhall retard, do we have anything from there? No. Okay, seems to be fine with me then. So, temporary flight plan and insert temporary. It is going to be a radar vector departure. They don't have any SIDS over here, but that is quite normal in the military aviation. Onto the init page then, and back to nav aids. Over here we don't really need to tune anything, as it's already auto-tuned everything we need. For our weights, let's have a look. Zero fuel weight 109.6, LSCG of 29.7. So zero fuel 109.6, and the zero fuel CG 29.7. Enter. Okay, block fuel, we have 12.8. And then the reserves are going to be 5%. Okay, now let's give it a little time to calculate, and then we'll see what it'll eventually come up with. Here we go, 22 minutes extra. That seems rather fine with me. Alright then, next we're going to go into the performance, and over here we have takeoff shift. Well, we don't really need anything, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to use 100 meters, then we can do the lineup a little bit more relaxed. So, the temperature is 29 degrees, so pretty hot outside. So, 29, and then takeoff performance computation, and those speeds are looking good. Insert takeoff data. Very well. So, down here, let's go ahead and insert our departure airport. Golf, Alpha, Golf, Oscar, enter. Looking good. So, GPS monitor is looking good. So our GPSs are working fine over here. Well, and that is all we need. We don't need to deselect anything. Everything is operative. So over to the secondary flight plan, where we are going to create a copy of the active. And that's it. Okay, performance over here, flight plan over there. And then we can move up to the FCU, or the AFSCP as they call it in here. 5,000 feet initial climb for our comms, 122, 800 going into the COM 1, 1215, COM 2, and Squawk 2000 into here. Nav display, I want my constraints, and that concludes the setup of our aircraft. So then I'd say, if you are ready, we can do our takeoff briefing, please. Alright, takeoff at Camp Castor, runway 06 left. Radar vector departure, initial climb to 5,000 feet. Or I'll tell you what, the initial is actually going to lead us right up to 11,000 feet. So that we get out of any... any possible terrorists' gun range as quickly as possible. MSA-wise, it's more or less flat terrain around, so 4,000 is going to keep us safe. Extra fuel for 22 minutes is on board. Thanks. I don't see any hotspots for the taxi routing today. It'll be a backtrack for most of it. Stop margin for ejected takeoff is more than enough, and the engine outset is going to take us straight ahead, 25 miles climbing 4,000. If you need to make an immediate return, we can do that. There are no other options available in the area, so we are going to come back over here. I don't have any special or non-standards, so what threats do you see for our departure? Well, my main threat for this one is actually animals. So there is a certain chance of animals on the airbase and animals on the runway. I do actually agree, and I think that is our main threat as well. What are we going to do against it? Well, if we see animals on the runway prior to our takeoff run, we are going to delay the takeoff, but we will make sure that no animals will be allowed to approach the aircraft. Otherwise, we'll have to taxi away. If we find an animal on the runway during our takeoff, then we are not going to attempt to avoid it, but we will take the aircraft airborne or reject the takeoff if there is sufficient runway available to stop in front of the animal. Now, if we do happen to have an animal strike, we'll evaluate the damage and then we decide on the further course of action, which is most likely going to be a return over here. We do have firefighting services on alert so that they can clean any runway should it become necessary. Alright, and I think the only other point I have is that we should climb to 10,000 feet as quickly as possible in order to get out of any small arms fire. So what are we going to do against that? Well, the green dot speed is 209. I am going to pre-select 209 on the climb page, so that we climb at the steepest possible angle. And that's it. Any questions? No? Wonderful. In that case, let's go ahead and order GSX to start to prepare our position for the pushback and departure. And while they do that, we can go ahead with the before start checklist down to the line, please. So, cockpit prep, complete, gear pins covers, removed, fuel quantity, checked, takeoff data, set, altimeter reference, QNH 1014. And IRS is checked, before start checklist complete down to the line. Okay, so far so good. The front door is closed. Let's verify that they close the aft door as well. And then comms are coming up. For some strange reason I can't select the comm over there. So general frequency, private frequency. We'll also bring up the radar warning receiver just in case there is anything going on in the area that we should be aware of. And that's it. Okay, and now we can select radio number 1 as well. Very good. So, ground flight, you can remove external power, please. Okay, removing GPU. Wonderful. So, all the doors are closed, then we can turn off the blue hydraulic system again. And that's wonderful. Okay, looking good to me. Transponder is coming on. And then... before start checklist below the line, please. So, beacon, both bright, before start checklist complete. Okay. Ground from flight deck. Go ahead. So please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Roger, clear to push and start. Park and brake is now released. Roger, start on the push, and you can start the engines at your discretion. Roger, commencing engine start in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, engine 1 start. So, there we go, number 1 is coming up. Oh, look at that, the cargo loader down there is still in place, it seems. Okay, good start on engine 1, starting engine 2. Clear 2. Okay, number 2 is running up. And looking good from the outside as well. Okay, ground, we've got a good start on 2, starting engine number 3. Clear 3 and set your brakes, please. Okay, brake set. Okay, we have a good start on engine 3, starting engine 4. Clear 4. Engine 4 start. So, can we see that from the flight deck? Yeah, it's turning fine. Okay, the tuck is removed. Waiting for the ramp agent then. And we've got 4 good starts. Clear to disconnect. Clear signal on the right, please, with a pin. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. So, where is she? There she comes, or he, holding a pin in the hand. Okay, the hand signal is received. After start checklist. Anti-ice. Off, pitch trim checked. After start checklist complete. Flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Rudder is for some reason not working, standby 1. And the pedals are not moving, okay, that's a standard issue with some hardware, unfortunately. The good thing is you just take the hardware, plug it out, plug it back in, and then it will normally work again. So rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Okay, looking good. Then why did the auto brake come on? I did not order that. Yeah, because when I plugged the joystick in and out, for some reason it resets some of the lights and the switches in the aircraft. Okay, looking good though. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Okay, clear left side, clear right side. Parking brake is released. Propellers all unfeathered, and off we go. Brake check. Brakes okay. Okay, taxi straight ahead, left hand turn right onto the runway, and then we'll backtrack for a full length departure. Let's not go over 15 over here. This does not look like the kind of taxiway where you want to go speeding. So 15 knots, back to idle. Really want to be careful here. And I do have to say this is a very, very well done scenery if you look at this. Really awesome. Seeing that this is a military base in the middle of nowhere. When I initially thought about doing this mission, I really had no idea that there was a scenery available. Then I started to look for it and I found this wonderful piece of scenery for Camp Castor. That's just wonderful. I never expected something like this to be available. We said we want to go to 11. Looks like they've reset that when I changed or when I plugged the joystick in and out. Okay then, time to backtrack. Strobe lights on. Clear on the left side. Well, there are animals over there. Gotta pay attention. But looks like some of them go running when we approach. Especially that one on the left there. We should be careful with him. We do already have some protection over here set up. And they go running as we approach. Very good. Okay, I have no changes to our takeoff briefing, but as we can see, animals are really the threat over here, as there are actually animals present. So our expected main threat has really materialized. The only good news is it doesn't look to me like there are many more animals anywhere along the strip, so if they stay where they are at the moment, then we'll be airborne long before them. Apart from that, no changes to our briefing. Do you have any? Nope. Okay. So, before takeoff, checklist down to the line, please. So, flight instruments, checked. Flight controls, checked. Briefing, confirmed. V1, VR, V2, 128, 128, 136. IFF set, radar and predictive wind shear. Okay, they're on and windows closed before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. Okay, parking brake is set. Then runway 6 left, cleared for takeoff. And the cabin prepare for departure. Below the line, takeoff runway 06 left, full length. So Loadmaster advised packs 1 and 2. Off before takeoff checklist complete. Check IRS airport position. Let's just quickly have a look at that. Position monitor. All the same, nothing to worry about. Return. Okay. Are you ready? Then take off. Mantoga SRS, auto thrust blue. Power set. So 120 knots. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Gear up. Nav. Checked. Heading. So match the heading bug, please. Power MCL, open climb, auto thrust. Pack 1 on. Yumi 2, flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. And pack 2 on. Autopilot 1. Okay, turn right, heading 180. And after takeoff checklist, well, tell you what, set standard. Standard, cross check, passing flight level 32. Now, after takeoff checklist, 2 and below the line. So, altimeter reference, standard, cross-checked. Engine start selector, none. And RA override off after takeoff checklist complete. So, I'd love to know why the pre-selected speed didn't work. But well, we are climbing well enough. I'm gonna be happy with that. I'm always amazed flying over territory like this. It's always so completely different from what we're used to as Europeans. Okay, so Unota is gonna be the next waypoint we're gonna fly to, and I tend to say we'll just go straight ahead towards Actually, you tell you what, let's avoid the river for now, so direct to Unota. Okay, temporary flight plan and insert. So, nav. Climb. Looking good. So, quick look outside. But overall, the territory over here looks very interesting for a safari, but that's probably it. Not exactly the kind of territory I would love to live in. Okay, climb flight level 200, and then we can already take a quick moment to have a look down into our FMS. Performance, optimum flight level 291, maximum 311. Oh no, look at that, it completely changed our weights. Why that? I'll tell you what, apply load. Probably not meant to do this in the air, but this is looking better. Okay, optimum 307, maximum 325. That's looking much better in my opinion. Alright, the cruise is planned at 290 and it is a fairly short one. Unfortunately we don't get... oh yeah, top of descent, 104 miles. Alright, we're gonna stick to flight level 290 then, we'll not go any higher than that. So, I'll cruise flight level 290 blue, and we're passing 10,000. So, lights off. It is a little bit turbulent for now, the signs are gonna stay on. And airports are selected. Alright, wonderful. That is our job completed for the time then. Then I'd say I see you a little bit later on as we are starting our approach into Niamey. Alright, we're approaching level 100. We can continue our descent now down to 3,000 feet for the ILS approach into Niamey. Set the local QNH. And as for the QNH itself, I think the best kind of data we can get is from down here in the EFB. Even though that is not necessarily up to date, but 1014 seems to be the latest available. In the meantime, passing level 100, the seatbelts are going on, landing lights on. Then constraints are selected and LS is selected. And we can do the same on the other end side. Alright. So that much about our basics. Let's go ahead and have a look into the approach itself. So let's conduct the approach briefing, please. Your turn. Alright, thanks. As you mentioned already, ILS approach to runway 9 right, MSA is 2,500 feet. The minimum for the approach 930. In case of a go-around, straight at 2,500, right and turn 283, intercept radial 253 outbound, November Yankee, Niamey, VOR. Extra fuel and time, I can offer you a load of 55 minutes extra. Alright, that's wonderful. So the approach will be manually flown with flight director guidance. Landing config full, stop margin more than enough. We'll use idle reverse and auto brakes low in order to vacate the runway to the left. I don't see any hotspots for the taxi in. Special or non-standards? Nothing? Wonderful. So, threats for the arrival, once again animals, and we are just gonna have a good look outside, ensure that we don't run into anything that we don't want to run into. But If a collision can't be avoided by a go-around, then we are going to maintain the center line, and if a collision happens, it happens. Okay, any questions? No? Beautiful. Then let's have a very quick look down here into the nav8 pages and tune for display. So, first of all, I want the near May VOR, and that's going to be a frequency of 114.1. And you can tune that. Didn't I just? What is it doing? So, November, Yankee. Interesting that we couldn't tune it by the frequency beforehand. But nonetheless, here we go, November Yankee on both sides, and for the ILS itself, 109.9. Like that, with a final approach course of 088. Should have been auto-tuned, but, well, here we go. Can always do it manually as well. And the ident for that is going to be November Mike. And that's indeed this one. Perfect. So, very good. All that setup is completed. Then let's check. We already received the ILS itself. That's wonderful. Okay, approach checklist, please. So, briefing confirmed, ecam status checked. By the way, we can switch the TCAS onto below. So, nav mode is checked, altimeter reference QNH 1014, TORS is on, minima 930 barrel set, engine start selector norm, approach checklist completed. I'm just really amazed by the terrain out here. This is looking so incredibly beautiful. We have Niamey City on the left over here. And then the airport is going to be somewhere over there, I believe. Well, the river actually goes in front of the airport, so it has to be over here. I think that large field over there, that's probably going to be our airport. Alt star. Approach phase is active. And then we can start slowing down. Alt. Cath Dual, Autopilot 1 and 2, glide slope, localizer blue. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun. Autopilot off. Cat 1. Lock star. And of course we are gonna get the heads-up display back in a view, which I had previously removed because of better visibility on the en route flight. Right, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. So that's our airport over there. We're going to maintain the F1 speed for a while, as we have some 20 knots of headwind at the moment. Blast up star. Go around altitude. $2,500 set. Lock. Glide slope. The one thing I'm missing on the heads-up display of the A400 is the flight path vector. We really can't tell exactly where we are going, which is normally one of the features that every heads-up display has. I would have expected it on the A400 as well. Okay, flaps 2, speed checked, and gear down. Flaps 3, Speed check, flap 3. Flaps full. Speed check, flaps full. Okay, speed not checked, but luckily it shouldn't extend them until we're actually below the overspeed limit. So you can't really break it that easily. Airbus logic. Right, landing checklist. Okay, loadmaster advised, auto thrust on, auto brake low, landing checklist complete. I'm going to keep auto thrust engaged for this one so that we can focus on the outside, because I want to look a little bit at the terrain as well over here. Oh, that's checked. Looks like Glideslope and Papi do not agree. Okay, disregard Glideslope. And we are right back onto the Papi. Land. Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, spoilers. Reverse green. But we don't actually need them. We'll taxi forward to the... Or actually, I think we gotta do 180 anyway. Okay, animals over there. Okay, 180. And they are running. I do not like that. Come on, airplane. What are you doing? You keep turning, please. Here we go. That's better. Okay, that's the civilian apron of Niamey Airport. The scenery itself is part of the Africa to Go package. And in my opinion, really great one. Seeing that this is an airport that very few people, if anyone ever, will have approached in the simulator at all before that add-on came out. I'm really happy to see that we have sceneries like these available in our simulator. Okay, vacating the runway. Not you, but you go away. And after landing. So, all transmissions off. While crossing runway, we'll keep the strobe light on. And start in the APU. So, clear on the left side, clear on the right side. After landing checklist, please. So, external lights set, IFF set, radar off, ground spoilers retracted. After landing checklist complete. Okay, a couple of C-130s over there, and we are going to park right next to them. So, off to the left. lovely C5 Galaxy up there. I wish they'd done that one as well for the new sim. I really wish. Okay, lights off. Park brake set. APU bleed on. Okay, feather all 4 engines. And then... Okay, that is all looking good. We want the beacon on both, please. Alright, shut down. So, engines are running down. And here we go. Parking checklist. Exterior lights set, parking brakes set, parking checklist complete. Okay, and here we are. So that is another successful mission. Blue hydraulic pump on, and the main cargo can go open. The doors can go open, chocks in place, and with that we can release our park and brake. Quick check of the wheel page to see how warm our brakes got. 160 degrees. That's no problem. Okay. So, and with that, welcome to Niamey. From here, we are going to offload our cargo and then load the next cargo, or rather sort whatever we take back home to Germany first. And from here, that is it. I would like to say thank you very much for flying along, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And with that, I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.